Jessii Vee, and today we're gonna be talking about the gingerbread man. I did not know until this day that there could be anything creepy about gingerbread man because they're just cookies at the end of the day. Oh, but trust me, there's always something creepy about everything. Before I get started, just an exciting announcement. We have released unicorn pajamas on the website, which I've never done before. We made sure to get the softest material in the world. They come in this cute little bag. You open them up and it's these really cute unicorn pajama pants. We didn't get a huge stock because we've never done them before, so if you want to get them before they sell out, the link is down below. Alright guys, try to make these intros as short as possible. I just like to give updates at the beginning, you guys know me. So before we get into the serious creepiness, let's talk about the history for a brief moment. A gingerbread man is a biscuit or cookie made of gingerbread, usually in the shape of a stylized human. Now, believe it or not, gingerbread cookies actually date back to the 15th century, but they weren't turned into human-like figures until the 16th century. The first documented instance of figure-shaped gingerbread biscuits was at the court of Elizabeth I of England. She was known for having very elaborate dinners. She would have candy made into different shapes, like to look like fruit or castles or birds. Like, her dinners were definitely the talk of the town. She even had what was literally called a royal gingerbread maker. So she would have these large dinner parties and would give her guests gingerbread men that looked exactly like them. Imagine going to a party and the host is like,
"Here, I made this gingerbread man to look like you."
It would be cool but kind of creepy at the same time. Now, soon after this practice became known, people that were considered witches and magicians would start selling gingerbread men, claiming them to be love tokens for young women. This is literally the quote from what they used to do back then. It says, if they could get the man of their choice to eat the gingerbread man that had been made for them, the idea was the man would then fall in love with the young women. So these witches and magicians would be like,
"Hey, get your man to eat this and he'll love you."
Obviously things don't work that way, but it was interesting that people back then believed that. So you're probably wondering, how did gingerbread men start becoming associated with Christmas? Because before they weren't. Well, there was a belief that spices heated you up during the winter, so people started serving them during the holidays since it's a pretty cold time of the year. So people thought that, hey, if you eat this gingerbread man, you'll get warm, which even now, I don't think that actually happens, but it's cool to think that way. So let's talk about the classic gingerbread man story that most of you probably know. This story first ever appeared in 1875 in a Christmas magazine. Now, the legend of the gingerbread man varies depending on who you ask or what sources you look at. The stories are different all over the place. But here is the most popular version. An old woman and her husband lived alone in a cabin buried deep in the woods. Now, this poor couple was very lonely. They had no children of their own and they were forced to live out by themselves. One night, this old woman came up with an amazing idea. She would make a boy out of gingerbread. She said that if she couldn't have her own son, this would be the next best thing. But as she pulled her creation out of the oven, the boy jumped right off the pan and ran away from their cabin. Now, the woman and this man started chasing this humanoid dessert down the road, and as he ran away from them, he sang this happy song, which you guys probably know. Run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man. I'm sorry, but every time I hear this, I think of Shrek. I can't help it. So he keeps running past different animals that want to eat him. And then finally, he meets this fox. The fox tries to trick the gingerbread man into trusting him. And before the gingerbread man can even realize what's happening, the fox gobbles him up. Now, the original story actually has a much gruesome ending. Hello? One second, guys. Okay, sorry, that was a bit creepy. So let's talk about the more gruesome ending of the gingerbread man. So instead of just gobbling the gingerbread man whole, the fox ends up eating him limb by limb. And as he does this, the gingerbread man cries out for each thing. So let's say the fox ate off his arm. He'd say,
"I'm a quarter gone,"
or
"I'm 3/4 gone,"
or
"I'm all gone."
like, apparently it was really disturbing to read. And apparently the whole moral for the gingerbread man story is that you should be careful who you trust, especially foxes. Never trust those things. I also read this horror version of the gingerbread man where the gingerbread man comes out of the the oven, starts running away from the couple, and as they chase him, he starts getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and then he turns around and literally eats them. So if you ever see a little cookie running around, don't chase it. Alright, so interestingly enough, they created a horror movie version of the Gingerbread Man in, I think it was 2005, except they called it the Ginger Dead Man. Yeah, they did that. And honestly, looking at this through research and seeing all the pictures, it's absolutely horrifying. The way they designed this gingerbread man was just, oh my gosh. Like, I'll never eat a gingerbread man again after seeing these pictures. Alright, lastly, let's get into a very strange and eerie creepypasta. It's a story about this girl Jenny who got into a fight with her best friend at school. What happened was Jenny had told her friend about a boy that she had this really huge crush on, and she made her friend promise that she would never tell anyone. But the next day when she walked into her class at school, everybody was staring at her and they started laughing at her, and she found out that her best friend had literally gone and told her crush that she had this creepy little crush on him. And then the entire class found out, and this girl was horrified. She left the class crying. The boy ran after her and said,
"Who could ever like you? You're gross."
Which, oh my gosh, that's so horrible. He deserves a little flick in the face. When I was a kid, I used to flick people when I was mad at them. I'd be like, come here, come get a flick. So this poor girl went home and cried all day long, and after dinner her mother made the family gingerbread man cookies since Christmas was right around the corner. So the girl sat there and looked down at the gingerbread man on her plate, and her mother had decorated so it looked like it was wearing a little cute dress. It had like pigtails, so I guess technically it was a gingerbread girl. And she started imagining that it looked exactly like her best friend, and she got this idea. In anger, she started one by one ripping this gingerbread man apart, kind of like the fox did in the original story. She snapped one arm off, and then the other, and then each leg, and then the head, and then she walked into her backyard and threw the pieces out into the grass and the snow. And as she did that, she said,
This is what I think about our friendship.
well, about a week later on Christmas Day, Jenny had gotten a snowball maker as one of her gifts. So she ran out into her backyard to test it out. And the first scoop of snow that she got in this snowball maker had little fingers sticking out of it. And that's literally how the story ends. And at first when I read it, it made no sense to me. But then I started thinking this gingerbread man probably acted as some sort of like voodoo doll thing. So whatever she did to it happened in real life to her best friend. So that's why she had like a real arm hand thing in the snow. Oh my goodness. As bad as some people can be to you, never do that. Never imagine those things and like wish that into the world. I know it's just a creepypasta, but like, my goodness. Anyways, guys, those are all the creepy things about gingerbread men that I could find. If I missed anything really good, definitely comment it down below. And don't forget, if you would like the new unicorn pajamas, I've linked them down below. But I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!